Hello everybody and welcome to another virtual dose of vitamin Z. My name is Zara. I'm here at the Otter Habitat with Tammy, an associate curator of mammals, and we are here to learn a little bit more about the otters. So they are in the pool right now. You can kind of see their bodies popping out every once in a while, and we'll keep a lookout for them as we learn a little more about the otters. So Tammy, I want to start off by learning about the stories about these otters. So how did the otters, or a few of these otters, come to the Detroit Zoo?
Well, currently we have 3 otters here, 1 male and 2 females, and as a visitor you would see only 2 on the habitat at the same time. Lucius, our male, who was born in 2006, he came from the Dickinson Park Zoo and he was born in captivity. But the 2 females, Whisker and Callie, they rotate with him. So today we have Callie, who's only 2.5 years old. She came here from Alaska. She was rescued on a hiking trail. Some hikers found her in distress, and they took her to a place where she was cared for, and then eventually she came here to the Detroit Zoo. And we're so happy to have her here. She's just a joy. As you can see, they love to play. Now, Whisker might be here maybe tomorrow with Lucius outside, and she was born in 2003. So she's older. She's awesome and amazing. She just doesn't maybe have as much playfulness in her as Callie does, but they all do like to play together.
And how do you guys decide who goes out on habitat?
They rotate. So because Lucius is compatible with each female, Lucius comes out today with Callie, tomorrow with Whisker. The animal that stays in the holding area also has a wonderful play land back there with a pool and everything too. So, and Whisker really likes her private time. She's a little, like I said, on the older side, so she doesn't mind at all to be back there having a little nap.
All right, so I actually want to talk about the habitat next. So I can see here that it's a nice big habitat with a lot of different features. So this habitat was expanded a few years ago. Can you talk about what role do animal care staff play in deciding what a habitat looks like and in the expansion of the habitat?
Yeah, so it went from 680 square feet to 2,500, so it basically tripled in size. And the process is that people that work with the animals in the life sciences department will think of natural behaviors of otters, whether that's swimming or digging or going in shady areas, sandy beaches, rocky areas. They do like to swim in deep water and shallow water. So the waterfall over there is also a wonderful feature. There's a slide because otters are playful in nature. So all of those things are considered when a habitat is being built, and people talk together with contractors and animal behaviorists and welfare folks at the Detroit Zoo, and we all kind of got together and created this beautiful, complex habitat for them.
So what are some of the features of the habitat? So you talked about the waterfall, and then there's a river over here.
There's what you would think of as a lazy river, maybe, like a shallow moving water river. There are rocks and logs in the stream. There are trees and hollowed logs for them to rest in the shade. Over by the waterfall area, there's a slide that's wet that they can go on their bellies and slide down. There's deep water and shallow water. There are some pebbles on a little rocky cliff over there, which would simulate like a beachy area, which is really, really nice for them. And they can dig because there's soil in this area too.
So this matches a habitat that you would see out in the wild, the wetlands that otters are known to frequent in the wild, and we try to match the habitats as much as possible to their natural places that they are found. So I know it gets really cold in Michigan, and you talked about one of the otters being a rescue from Alaska, so they can survive in cold weather?
Yes, otters are remarkable in the fact that they can tolerate a very wide range of temperatures. It can be super hot, and they can tolerate it. Obviously, they can go for a swim, but it could also be super cold. Now, this pool doesn't freeze in the winter because of the moving water and the filtration technology that we have here, but they are very comfortable swimming in the summer, and they're also very comfortable because of their fur and their fat living in the cold, cold water, and they are just as playful and active in the wintertime.
So something that I think is really cool about otters is they have 2 layers of fur. They have a inner layer that is more insulating, and then an outer layer that serves as a waterproof, and that helps keep them comfortable in all sorts of temperatures, and they spend a lot of time grooming, keeping that oil off their body, or keeping oil off their feathers or their fur to keep them working the way they should and keep that body insulation going. So otters are a member of the weasel family. They're very different than beavers, and one of the ways they're different is the fact that they're not nocturnal, and they're very active and alive during the day. Some other adaptations that I wanted to talk about that are really great to see when you're inside is the fact that they have these double eyelids, or these eyelids that can be clear so that they can swim underwater with their eyes open, and you can really see that when you're inside the building and can look into the pool. I think that's such a great feature of the habitat.
I agree. They also have a very powerful tail. When we have an otter that we're hand raising or one that's under anesthesia, you can feel that tail, and it is all muscle. These otters are built for water. They are very long, and they have this rudder for a tail, webbed feet. They're very strong, and they're sleek. So if they want to propel themselves really fast through the water, they can do that too.
So they seem to have headed to the waterfall right now. We can no longer spot them, but I'm sure they'll make an appearance soon. In the meantime, can you talk a little bit about their diet?
Yes, so otters eat a variety of things. They will eat shellfish, crayfish, but also Brett, their zookeeper today, just threw some carrots in there. And you might think, well, that's odd, but they do eat vegetables and fruits here at the zoo, mostly for enrichment, especially a carrot. That's a fun thing to play with, but they will eat that. It can be, quite tricky to feed them in captivity sometimes because they're picky sometimes about their fish, and that makes sense. Otters need to live in very clean waterways. They really respond well to being in a very nice biodiverse environment with really clean water. So if you're at home and you're wondering what you can do to help otters, use natural cleaners when you're using vinegar and baking soda and things like that, and conserve water, because otters are sensitive to pollutants and things like that, and they need it to be clean. Now here at the Detroit Zoo, we keep our pools ship-shape and in tip-top shape, but that is something that really means a lot to them. The fish need to be healthy, the crayfish, the clams, things like that they're eating.
I did want to point out just how great the zookeepers are here at the zoo. Not only are they responsible for caring for the animals, but they are responsible for caring for the habitats. And the habitats always look great and in clean, amazing conditions. So kudos to all of you for all the work you guys do.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to work with an otter. They're not only beautiful and charismatic and very entertaining, but they're very intelligent. They respond to operant conditioning. We can crate train them and take them for their annual visits to the hospital. They enjoy those activities, those mental activities, and they also like their enrichment. So if there's something like a frozen ice treat in the summertime, or a block of, some clams that are frozen, they really enjoy banging that and breaking it up, and things like that keep them busy. They are an animal that likes to stay busy. So whereas you'd see a wallaby laying around all day long, these otters like to be busy, especially the younger ones. As you can see, Callie over there, she's just so fast.
You can see her playing with some of her toys back there.
Yes.
I see a purple ball. Up there's where she's heading right now.
Yes, she's awesome. These guys are a pleasure. It's our privilege to have them here at the zoo.
So I know you've cared for otter pups in the past. What are some ways that you guys provide care for pups, and how is it different than if they grew up in the wild?
Well, when you have a rescued animal, they come here with trauma usually. There might be an injury, or there might be an animal that is malnourished. So what we do is we give a full vet exam, and then we have to provide nutrition and care for them. But we try to mimic, the ways that their parents would do that. So we give them bottles, but we also teach them. A mother otter teaches the babies how to swim. They don't know how to swim innately, so she has to sort of push them in the water and show them how to swim. So when Callie came here from Alaska, we had to show her how to swim. We gave her shallow water, and we went in the pool with her with rubber boots, and we showed her. And it's hard work, but it's so rewarding, because as you can see now, she's acting like an otter, and she's doing otter things with her otter boyfriend, which is really great, and that makes us happy, and that's a success story for us. We weigh them every day, make sure they're gaining weight. The vets check on her, but it was all about knowing, what does this baby animal do in the wild, and what would their parent do, and trying to do those same things.
All right, so if you have any questions for us, go ahead and send them in. Otherwise, we will take a look at the otters for a little bit longer before we say goodbye to Tammy.
Thanks for having me today. No, I would like to encourage anyone who wants to come to the zoo to stop by here in the afternoon and take a look around, because it can be hard to see them sometimes. They have dark fur coats and they might be resting in the log. But as you can see, they are very active and they like to play. So make sure you head inside the habitat and look and see if they're swimming underwater. Those are great views under there because, you know, like she said, they have a very, very cool fur, and they have bubbles that they kind of blow that cover their fur, which is really great.
I've spent a lot of February days inside the habitat
Nice.
Waiting for school groups, and I have to say it is one of the greatest habitats to be inside. Not only is it cozy and looks like a cabin, but the otters are always so energetic and so friendly, and moving around and giving me something to view the entire time and something to learn about them the entire time I'm there. So I definitely recommend a visit to the otters. I did get a question about how long their lifespan is.
That's interesting. In the wild, they have a kind of a hard life. They live in rough waters. They have to catch a lot of their food, which is very hard to catch. And they might only live 6 or 7 years, but in captivity they live over 20 years, which is a testament to their care and all of their great nutrition and vet care that we provide them here.
All right, well, thank you again, Tammy, for joining us live. Be sure to check out more virtual content, either here on our live videos or by checking out the Detroit Zoo's website.
Thanks for having me. Everyone come get your vitamin Z at the Detroit Zoo.